When most people think of Harley-Davidson, they picture chrome-heavy cruisers, air-cooled engines, and a rumbling V-twin that shakes the ground. But in the early 2000s, Harley did something that shocked the motorcycle world. They built the V-Rod, a liquid-cooled, Porsche-assisted, drag-strip-inspired power cruiser that looked like it came straight out of the future. It was the bike that dared to break tradition, and it changed Harley's story forever. Today on Bike Extraction, we're going deep into the Harley-Davidson V-Rod, its birth, its bold design, its muscle-bound engine, and its legacy that still splits opinions today. Welcome to Bike Extraction, where we uncover the legends, the breakthroughs, and the motorcycles that shaped generations. If it's got two wheels and a story worth telling, you'll find it here. By the late 1990s, Harley-Davidson faced a challenge. Riders were getting older, and younger buyers were being pulled toward Japanese brands offering cutting-edge performance bikes. Harley was iconic, but it was also seen as old-fashioned. The company needed something daring, something to prove that Harley could be more than nostalgia. That's when the V-Rod project began. Harley didn't just want a new cruiser, they wanted a statement of raw power and modern engineering. Harley turned to Porsche Engineering for help developing a revolutionary motor. The result was the Revolution engine, a 1,130 cubic centimeters, 60-degree, liquid-cooled V-twin with dual overhead cams and 4 valves per cylinder. This was a radical departure from the air-cooled pushrod twins Harley had built for over a century. With Porsche's racing know-how, the V-Rod engine could spin to 9,000 RPM, delivering a thrilling 115 horsepower, numbers that blew past anything Harley had offered before. It wasn't just an engine, it was proof Harley could innovate at the highest level. The V-Rod's design was just as groundbreaking as its engine. The stretched-out wheelbase, drag-style bars, massive rear tire, and sculpted aluminum bodywork made it look more like a dragster than a cruiser. Even the fuel tank was unconventional, mounted under the seat to keep the center of gravity low, with what looked like the tank actually housing the airbox. The bike was pure attitude, sleek and futuristic, standing out in Harley showrooms filled with retro-styled machines. On the road, the V-Rod was unlike any Harley before it. With a 0 to 60 time in under 3.5 seconds and a quarter mile in the low 11s, this bike could embarrass many sport bikes of its era. The 5-speed transmission was smooth, the belt drive was reliable, and the Revolution engine begged to be revved. For Harley riders used to shifting at 5,000 RPM, suddenly having power up near 9,000 was a mind-bending experience. It wasn't about lazy cruising, it was about adrenaline. Built around a hydroformed steel perimeter frame, the V-Rod was designed with stiffness and control in mind. Inverted 49mm forks, dual front discs with 4-piston calipers, and a wide rear tire gave it serious stopping power and stability. At highway speeds, it felt planted, like it could blast down a drag strip all day. But in tight corners, that long wheelbase and fat tire made it heavy to flick around. Still, compared to Harley's traditional cruisers, the V-Rod was light years ahead in agility. Here's where the V-Rod made some compromises. The forward controls and low seat height gave it a stretched-out, aggressive position, but for long rides it could be punishing. Fuel capacity was just under 4 gallons, which meant frequent stops. The underseat fuel filler confused some riders. And despite its futuristic appeal, many die-hard Harley fans criticized it for being too European in character. Yet for riders who wanted power and style over comfort, these trade-offs didn't matter. The V-Rod was Harley's direct answer to muscle bikes like the Yamaha V-Max, Suzuki Boulevard M109R, and Ducati Diavel, which would come later. Unlike Harley's air-cooled classics, the V-Rod could stand toe-to-toe with performance cruisers worldwide. It attracted riders who never considered a Harley before, and it showed the world that Harley wasn't afraid to experiment. But it also divided the faithful. Some saw it as Harley's future, others as a betrayal of its heritage. The V-Rod line evolved over its 16 years in production. The Night Rod Special came with blacked-out styling and a more aggressive look, while the V-Rod Muscle amped up the presence with squared-off lines and brute force aesthetics. In 2008, displacement grew to 1,250 cubic centimeters, pushing output past 120 horsepower. But by 2017, changing emissions laws and shifting market demand led Harley to retire the model. Today, the V-Rod has a cult following. On the used market, depending on mileage and condition, prices range from $8,000 to $15,000. For collectors and riders who crave something different, the V-Rod stands as Harley's boldest experiment, a machine that defied tradition and carved out its own legend.